and we started fighting desertification in autumn 2008.
China is known for its ambitious mega-projects, but what's happening in its deserts has left the world stunned. For years, Chinese citizens have suffered from the impact of expanding deserts, prompting the government to take action. In a bold move, China removed billions of tons of sand from the desert. But what happened a year later surprised everyone. The results have sparked global interest and raised questions about the future of desert management. What did China achieve and how could it change the world? Watch until the end to discover what's happening in China's deserts. Impact of the desert on China. For many decades, China has been suffering from the impact of the Gobi Desert. This vast and arid region in northern China and southern Mongolia is known for its dunes and mountains. However, the desert has significantly impacted China, leading to widespread desertification. The desert is spreading into Chinese towns. It has also led to severe dust storms, reduced agricultural productivity in affected regions, and environmental degradation. It has affected human health and the air quality. The Gobi Desert is affecting cities like Beijing, as the expanding desert has been encroaching on habitable land, causing communities to be displaced. This has been highly difficult for the Chinese government and its economy. The expanding deserts, especially the Gobi Desert, have generated frequent and intense sandstorms. These storms travel very long distances, causing air pollution and affecting cities across northern China. Desertification also reduces the fertile land available for agriculture, making it hard for these areas to produce food. Desert expansion is also depleting the water resources in China, making it hard for some communities to access clean water. All the affected regions are also dealing with economic hardship due to reduced agricultural productivity. It has caused the people to relocate because of the encroaching desertification. Because of these challenges, China removed billions of tons of sand from the desert to slow down the growing desert. China removes sand from the desert in mega projects. China has removed a lot of sand from the desert, especially the Gobi and Taklamakan deserts, in a series of efforts to control desertification. They have been planting trees using solar-powered technology and developing new equipment. China's large-scale project is focused on transforming lifeless deserts into green, habitable areas. These deserts are no longer how they used to be, with China's different strategies. China has been planting trees, shrubs, and many other vegetation in Gobi and Taklamakan to remove sand from the desert. To make this possible, China has been working on improving the soil conditions of the deserts so that they can plant more trees. What's more, China has used solar-powered sand blocking technology. This is meant to prevent sandstorms plaguing different areas in the country, especially the places close to the deserts. Technology is just one of those that China has made to solve the issues related to the encroaching desert. China has also made equipment like AI-powered automated seeding machines and walk-behind paving machines, which can be used to remove the sand from the desert and plant more seeds. China has also adjusted the density of the forests so that they are balanced with the local water resources. China has laid straw on the ground in checkerboard patterns to further prevent the desert from expanding. This is especially true in rural areas where people suffer from desert sands. They usually place large stacks of straw to stop the sand from encroaching into their region. China's war on sand has been going on for a long time, since the 1978, as the government has seen how much the deserts will affect them. So far, China has achieved different goals due to its efforts. It has protected and rehabilitated large areas of land. China has already created the largest man-made forest in Saihanba, standing out worldwide. The country has also achieved the goal of encircling the Taklamakan Desert with a green belt, contributing to 25% of the world's green increment. The world's most populous country has invested much money in mega projects that can transform these deserts and protect its people. Currently, China is working on one of the largest ecological engineering endeavors in the world. They expect to achieve their goals by 2050. The Great Green Wall. The Great Green Wall project in China, also known as the 3 North Shelter Belt Forest Program, is the most ambitious environmental initiative in the world. Since its launch in 1978, the main goal has been to fight diversification in northern China. They have been planting many trees to act as a barrier against the expansion of the Gobi Desert. Spanning more than 4,500 kilometers, the project is expected to be complete in 2050. The aims are to increase forest coverage, stabilize dunes, mitigate sandstorms, and create sustainable timber resources for the local population. The Great Green Wall is looking to address the growing threat of desertification, which has led to major environmental and economic challenges in China. The main goal is to create a green wall of forests. The trees are supposed to stop sand from spreading out of the desert and protect vulnerable areas from harsh winds and sandstorms. Recent reports show that a 3,000-kilometer green belt has been completed around the Taklamakan Desert, a major milestone in its progress. The forest coverage in China has also risen greatly, from 10% in 1949 to 25% recently. This is mainly because the program successfully planted billions of trees in the arid and semi-arid regions. The Great Green Wall program has also been praised for reducing the severity and frequency of sandstorms. Northern China was once plagued by many sandstorms, affecting air quality and public health. What's more, the trees planted contribute to carbon sequestration, mitigating the effects of climate change by absorbing large amounts of CO2. Although the Great Green Wall has achieved impressive progress, it still has some challenges. One of the main concerns is whether these planted trees are sustainable. Critics have been arguing that these trees are monocultures, so the limited number of species might not be able to fit the region's arid conditions. Trees might not be able to adapt to challenging environmental conditions, especially due to the lack of biodiversity. Water scarcity is another issue that is affecting these trees in the desert. Planting trees in arid regions needs a lot of water, which could strain the water resources in these areas. The water resources in areas close to the deserts are strained, making it harder to plant these trees. China might be able to solve this issue by planting native vegetation that is better adapted to the local climate. These trees will require less maintenance and water. Furthermore, the maintenance and survival of the trees have been inconsistent. In some regions, many planted trees have failed to thrive due to harsh environmental conditions, lack of proper care, or poor soil quality. Addressing these issues will be critical to ensuring the project's long-term success. China's Great Green Wall is a testament to the country's commitment to combating the expanding desert. The project has made substantial progress in increasing forest coverage, reducing sandstorms, and global carbon sequestration. Green Belt around Taklamakan Desert. The Green Belt around the Taklamakan Desert showcases China's commitment to combating the expanding desert. On November 28, 2024, the final 100 meters of trees were planted along the southern edge of the Taklamakan Desert, marking the completion of the 3,046-kilometer-long greenbelt encircling the desert. The Taklamakan Desert, covering an area of 337,600 square kilometers, roughly the size of Finland, is the second largest shifting sand desert in the world, trailing only the Sahara. Its vast expanse of mobile dunes and extreme climate make it a significant challenge for conservation efforts. Without intervention, deserts like the Taklamakan tend to expand over time due to wind erosion and reduced precipitation. For instance, studies indicate that the Sahara Desert has expanded by 10% over the past century, underscoring the urgency of addressing desertification. In the Taklamakan Desert, China has been focused on planting trees and shrubs specifically adapted to the desert environment. They plant species such as poplars and red willows, known for their resilience and rapid growth in the desert. These plants also act as windbreaks as they can stabilize dunes and reduce the severity of sandstorms. The trees are planted in shelter belt formations designed to trap moisture and reduce wind erosion. The project employs innovative water conservation techniques to address water scarcity in this arid region, including water harvesting and efficient irrigation systems. Local communities play a crucial role in planting and maintaining these forests, ensuring sustainable practices and fostering a sense of ownership and participation. The Green Belt has already had a transformative impact on the region. They have stabilized sand dunes, reducing the desert expansion and curbing sandstorms' intensity. It has also improved air quality and living conditions for nearby communities. The belt supports local economies by cultivating medicinal plants and other crops suited to the region's conditions. It provides an additional source of income for residents. China's broader afforestation efforts have also contributed to increased forest coverage. Since 1949, forest cover has risen from 10% to over 25%, a testament to the success of programs like the Green Belt. The project also aids in carbon sequestration, contributing to global efforts to mitigate climate change. Despite these achievements, the Green Belt has been facing challenges. Research has suggested that tree planting alone accounts for less than 3% of vegetation cover changes in arid regions. This is because of rainfall fluctuations and reduced grazing. Scientists are also warning against over-reliance on monoculture plantations. The green belt around the Taklamakan Desert is a landmark achievement in China's fight against desertification. The project demonstrates how large-scale afforestation can combat desert expansion while fostering regional growth by integrating innovative strategies, local involvement, and a focus on environmental and economic benefits. Continued efforts to address sustainability challenges will be essential to securing the long-term success of this ambitious initiative. Effective removing sand. Although China removed billions of tons of sand from the desert to combat the expanding desert, there are still some negative effects. From the overexploitation of water resources, poor tree survival rates from improper management, decreased biodiversity due to monoculture planting, and the worsening of desertification in certain areas. This might lead to further ecological disruption as China moves to protect itself from the encroaching desert. The rapid urbanization in China has driven an insatiable demand for construction materials, particularly sand, which is essential for concrete, glass, and other infrastructure components. This demand has led to excessive sand extraction from lakes, rivers, and deltas, most notably from Poyang Lake, China's largest freshwater lake. While this extraction supports economic growth and urban development, it has had significant adverse effects on water resources, ecosystems, and the livelihoods of local communities. Poyang Lake, an important water body that flows into the Yangtze River, has been affected by sand mining activities. The excessive extraction has also lowered the lake's water levels, making it less capable of storing water and disrupting the natural flow patterns. The depletion has caused water scarcity in nearby regions, especially during dry seasons. As the desert leads to sandstorms, those in nearby regions can't use the water from the lake. It has also made it hard for the lake to protect from floods, leaving surrounding areas more vulnerable to flooding during the rainy season. Removing sand from the desert also affects aquatic ecosystems. The dredging process disturbs sediment layers, destroys fish spawning grounds, and disrupts habitats for aquatic plants and animals. In Poyang Lake, the reduced water levels and habitat destruction have severely affected fish populations, jeopardizing the livelihoods of fishing communities that depend on these resources. The loss of biodiversity in the lake also threatens its long-term ecological health, as key species and ecosystems cannot recover from the ongoing disturbances. It has also had a major impact on agriculture and the local communities. Farmers in areas surrounding Poyang Lake rely on its water for irrigation, but the declining water levels have affected farming practices and reduced crop yields. Moreover, the loss of wetlands and natural vegetation around the lake has reduced its ability to filter pollutants and maintain soil fertility, leading to more harm from agriculture. The local communities depend on the lake for drinking water, farming, and fishing, and it has become harder for them to sustain their livelihoods. Despite the significant environmental and social costs, efforts to regulate sand extraction in China have been inadequate. Unlicensed and illegal sand mining operations are widespread, with enforcement often lagging behind the scale of the problem. Attempts to impose stricter regulations have faced resistance due to the economic value of the sand trade, which generates substantial revenue for local governments and businesses. As a result, unsustainable practices continue to harm the environment and local populations. China has been working towards balancing the sand extraction from the Gobi, Taklamakan Desert, and Poyang Lake. This way, they can protect the ecosystem from damage and involve local communities in sustainable resource management. China leads desert infrastructure projects. China's ambitious infrastructure projects in the Taklamakan Desert have shown the country's capacity to overcome natural challenges. The infrastructure is stimulating economic growth, enhancing connectivity, and unlocking the potential of remote regions. They have specially built highways and railways in these regions. The Taklamakan Desert is home to one of the longest desert highways in the world, the Ulicayemo Highway. It stretches 334 kilometers, with 307 kilometers of the highway cutting through the sands. This highway connects the southern and northern edges of the desert in Xinjiang. The highway was built under extreme conditions as proof of engineering innovation. The workers planted sand-holding vegetation along the route to protect the bridge from desert encroachment, like shrubs and grasses. These plants are stabilizing the dunes, preventing them from burying the road and reducing the impact of sandstorms. One of the most impressive aspects of the Yuli-Kashimo Highway is its use of solar-powered irrigation systems. These systems deliver water efficiently to maintain the vegetation, creating a sustainable method to preserve the highway's functionality. This approach reduces reliance on diesel-powered equipment, making the Yuli-Kashimo Highway China's first carbon-zero road. By significantly lowering diesel consumption, this initiative has cut CO2 emissions, highlighting China's commitment to integrating green solutions into its infrastructure projects. In addition to highways, China has also constructed the world's first desert railway loop, the Hotan-Rukeng Railway. It encircles the Taklamakan Desert and spans 2,712 kilometers. The railway links key cities like Aksu, Hotan, Kashgar, and Korla, and connects the resource-rich areas to other areas affected by the desert. This rail loop is particularly significant for Xinjiang, enabling efficient transportation of goods such as coal, oil, and natural gas, while promoting regional development. Building a railway in the desert has led to unique challenges, like frequent sandstorms and shifting dunes. To address these issues, engineers have implemented protective nets, sand fences, and vegetation barriers to protect the railway tracks from the desert sand. China's highways and railways in the Taklamakan Desert are integral to its broader economic development and regional connectivity goals. The improved infrastructure facilitates the transport of minerals and fuels, crucial for industrial growth, and enhances trade opportunities as part of the Belt and Road Initiative. Additionally, by connecting remote areas to urban centers, these projects boost the quality of life for residents, providing better access to goods, services, and employment opportunities. It has also led to a boost in tourism, as the improved access to the desert's unique landscape has attracted visitors, simulating local economies. China implements renewable energy in deserts. Surprisingly, China's vast deserts like the Gobi and Taklamakan have become hubs for renewable energy. These regions' solar and wind energy projects protect other areas from the expanding desert. One of China's most important renewable energy projects is the solar thermal power plant in Dunhuang, Gansu Province. This facility has 12,000 mirrors strategically arranged around a central tower, using concentrated solar power technology to generate electricity. By reflecting sunlight onto the tower, the mirrors create intense heat that drives a turbine to produce energy. This cutting-edge technology is clean and efficient, storing heat to generate power even when the sun isn't shining. The Dunhuang Power Station significantly contributes to China's carbon neutrality goals by reducing reliance on fossil fuels. China is known for its strength in renewable energy projects, and now it has expanded this knowledge to desert regions. They aim to create a solar Great Wall. There are vast solar farms in the Gobi and Taklamakan deserts, which capture a lot of sunlight, turning these deserts into energy powerhouses. The desert is generating hundreds of gigawatts of electricity, meeting the needs of the domestic and industrial sectors. China has invested in high-voltage transmission lines to capture clean energy to populated regions. This ensures that the energy generated in remote deserts can support urban development. Aside from the solar farms, the desert regions in China have become suitable for large-scale wind power projects because they have consistent and strong winds. By combining solar and wind energy, China is creating a balanced renewable energy mix that meets the needs of seasonal and weather variations. These desert energy projects come with diverse benefits beyond just generating clean energy. The solar farms are helping to stop the desert from expanding. Panels and supporting infrastructure, like the fences and vegetation, are stabilizing dunes and mitigating the effects of desert expansion and sandstorms. They have implemented solar-powered sand blocking technology to produce renewable energy while protecting fragile ecosystems. The effect of solar panels also conserves soil moisture, making the desert more suitable for tree planting. Economic advantages are equally significant. Developing renewable energy infrastructure in sparsely populated desert regions creates jobs, stimulates local economies, and provides affordable electricity for China's manufacturing sector. Additionally, water conservation measures integrated into some projects address the arid conditions, further enhancing their sustainability. Challenges and achievements. China has implemented many ambitious desert projects, which have brought a lot of environmental and economic benefits. The construction of renewable energy infrastructure in the Gobi and Taklamakan deserts has also moved the country closer to carbon neutrality and created economic opportunities. The main point is to combat the expanding desert and stabilize the dunes. One of the main challenges is the environmental impact of sand extraction, which is important for infrastructure development, but also disrupts the fragile desert ecosystems. Removing sand from the desert can exacerbate erosion, lead to biodiversity loss, and even worsen the desert expansion if it's not sustainably managed. Balancing the demand for raw materials with environmental preservation is a critical concern. Despite all these challenges, China continues to push the boundaries of innovation. Technologies in vegetation planting have been stabilizing the desert. At the same time, the technology is helping in energy generation, acting as solar farms for the closest regions. By addressing these challenges and focusing on sustainable practices, China solidifies its position as a global leader in desert reclamation and renewable energy, setting a blueprint for balancing development with ecological preservation. What do you think about China's desert expansion tactics? Leave your thoughts in the comments and be sure to like and subscribe for more interesting videos.